Hey everybody, this is James,
Marco,
Nabil,
and Mikey.
And this is the Movie Pals podcast number 189. Today we are actually bringing back what we're watching, give you guys a little end of the year update on what we've been watching near the end here, as well as a review of the new Sonic the Hedgehog film, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. So without further ado, let's get into what we're watching.
Hey, what you watching?
and we're back. Damn, I can't remember last time we did a What You're Watching. It's been many moons ago.
I don't remember either. I was actually looking for an outline of copy for it, and I couldn't find one.
did we even do one this year?
I almost want to say it was even before Mikey joined.
No, we did.
We did one. We did one.
Okay. I was like, damn.
I always mix it up. Like, was this the year Mikey Fishy joined? Was this year?
It was right at the end of last year. Was it?
Because
I did the top 10 with you guys. So I think I did an episode or two before that.
Oh, that means we get to celebrate your Mikey-versary next episode?
Yes. Very true.
Can't wait. All right. So with that being said, we're going to do what we're watching. Going to start off with a good old favorite here, Mr. Nabil. What you been watching, man?
Starting strong with Nabil.
We're really setting the tone here, guys.
He's like, let me get the one that's really going to get the people keep listening on YouTube.
Right.
That guy.
Well, let's talk about my eclectic taste of films that are going to be different from what everybody else has been watching. Starting with Juror number 2, just got released on Max. This is the Clint Eastwood directed film that stars Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas Hoult is a juror who is trying to judge a crime that he may have partaked in and wasn't aware. And that they spoil a bit of it in the trailer, but that's kind of the gist of it, is that he's having a bit of a crisis of conscience, and he's trying to figure out what he needs to do. Is he in the wrong? Is he in the right? Is he going to send this man to jail? Is he not? And this film, I think, really shows how strong of director Clint Eastwood still is. I know that he had a couple of recent films were a bit like mixed reviews. It was the last one was Macho Man or
Cry Macho.
Cry Macho, thank you. And then before that, it was The Mule. And so there were some mixed things. And he was also kind of starring in those films. But like as a director, I think him going into something like that, he really does good with the dialogue and like creating that tension and a story that doesn't have a lot to it. It's more just the premise around it and the morality around what you would do if you were in that situation. And I think that kind of holds you through the whole film. You're thinking about, would I do the same thing that this juror was going to do, or how do I feel about it, or revisiting the scene and seeing everything that really occurred. Am I at fault or not? I know that there's been a bit of controversy on how it ended specifically. I don't want to spoil anything, but it does kind of leave things a bit open-ended on how the film, what the result is of everything. And I think that also was a really good artistic direction too. So I think that it was quite an interesting film. I think, James, I believe you've seen that film.
Yeah, Mikey and I went and actually seen the theaters. Actually, it didn't play in a lot of theaters at all, which I think is it was a small release. I was surprised how quickly it came out on Max. I thought it only just came out in theaters just a few weeks ago. But yeah, it's one of those like I don't know. I mean, Warner Brothers, I don't know what they're doing half the time, dude. So kind of just
they still be handing the movies to Max pretty quickly. They're like, hey, you guys want this?
Well, this one kind of makes sense, right? Because you couldn't watch it in theaters unless you were like in an area that you had one. So this one
I want to say it was in like something like 40 or less theaters or something like that. Maybe even less than that. I don't know. I really enjoyed this movie though. This is I even bought the movie when it came out digitally, so I own it too.
Nice.
Because this is supposedly Clint Eastwood's last film. He's 94 years old, so
it's gonna be hard for him to crank another one out.
Yeah, and there was already delays on this movie itself because of health problems with him. So I wouldn't be shocked like this is it. So if he retired, he retired on a good one though. I liked it a lot. I think the tension that it builds up, and it's kind of almost a mystery kind of, but then like slowly reveals like the plot of it all. It's a little bit different from what you think it's going to be. But I think it's a solid movie. I think Nicholas Hoult is great. I think all the rest of the cast works really well too.
Yeah, and the bill kind of said a little bit too. It kind of brings morality in, and it's not just for Nicholas Holt's character, but they actually question a lot of people's morality throughout the movie too. So I like how they kind of like spread the love a little bit as
Right.
far as like who is, thinking the right way or doing the right thing. They bring in a lot of different characters into the mix as well for that.
Yeah, it definitely grounds everybody too. There's a bit of there's definitely a sense of reality in the whole thing, and I think that again, I go to what James said. You can't go wrong watching this film if you like. Just yes, Clint Eastwood. I think it's a great, strong film for him to end in, but also just this kind of jury film, a bit of a mystery, a little bit of a. I wouldn't say a thriller, so to speak, but there is a bit of suspense in here. So I'd say it's definitely worth a watch for somebody who's looking for something that's serious, but maybe not too serious. Like it's not really about what happened. It's about what do you do knowing this is circumstances of what happened. So
it's almost like a legal thriller. I like those old I'm trying to think of like The Firm almost kind of feel to it all, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like a 90s kind of early 90s thing.
Exactly.
I'm with you there.
Right on. Sounds interesting, Nabil.
Yeah. On top of that, another serious film I saw was Conclave on Peacock. This film stars Ralph Fiennes, and he's a deacon in the Vatican after the Pope passes away, and you're essentially going through the voting process of electing a new Pope. And that's the general premise, but you have to think about all these cardinals that are in a room trying to vie for that top spot and seeing who's worthy enough to be in that position. And this film gets very intense on the politics behind that, on being sequestered, on the circumstance of the people that are being nominated in their history. There's also another controversial ending twist in this film that I felt like was fine. I didn't think it was too intense, but I feel that if you're a bit more, we'll say, textbook religious, that you might find some reason to be upset by it. But overall, it's just a really good kind of like a mystery. Really, this is more in that kind of realm. It's a lot of dialogue. There's some action sequences. Things happen that could be caused by God. Some kind of miracles occur. Some things that are going on. You don't know who to trust. Sometimes you think people are altruistic, and then they disappoint you. There's a lot of back and forth on trying to really see who deserves to be Pope, essentially, and who has the highest morale or moral cause to be that position voted against around those other cardinals. So it's just a very interesting process, very beautifully well shot too, and then Ralph Fiennes just very convincing as he looks very old in this, and I know he is a bit older, but they did a good job of like really aging him up a bit, which I was kind of surprised from the makeup aspect. It was like, you could see like liver spots in him. It was just a weird detail that I noticed watching it, thinking I was like, oh, this guy's gotten pretty old. So I think the film is pretty good.
Voldemort, right? So.
Yeah, right.
He who shall not be named.
He can just hide away in the makeup, I guess.
Yeah, he's a man of many, English patient. This.
Yeah. So I think it's another kind of a serious film, of course, but an interesting aspect of another slice of life thing in the inner workings of the Vatican, and an idea of what it takes to be one of the most important people in the largest religion in the world.
This seems like a very Nabil pick.
I've heard good things though.
I've heard good things too,
yeah.
but truthfully, I added to my watch list on Peacock, but it's not one of those ones that I'm like, oh my god, I have to go with the Conclave. Right?
I actually think of the group, I think James, you'd actually enjoy it quite a bit watching through it.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. And then finally, to wrap it up in something a bit more light, I did watch a fun documentary called Yacht. That was on HBO Max. That is about, if you've never heard of the genre, it's basically a mix of like jazzy soft rock. And it's songs by like artists like Chris Cross and Michael McDonald, the Doobie Brothers. It's about that era of like the early 70s going into the early 80s, a 10-year span of just like funky white person music that sounds black, but they're not black. And everybody including black people, at least in this documentary, love that kind of music and realize
I
like
mean,
these
I
guys
was gonna
are-
like, is this my playlist? You got like
I mean, it's a lot of the songs that I listen to.
yeah,
You know, and
Kenny
it's
Loggins. Yeah, shit.
Kenny
man.
Loggins. Oh yeah, Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald together. Jeez, in this documentary,
heaven.
especially,
Sounds like heaven.
it's great. They play it up the whole time. They know what they are, and you're getting interviews with these legendary artists, and you'll hear songs that you may not have even known is considered yacht rock and thought other songs were. Like they go into the kind of the influences of Stevie Wonder and Fleetwood Mac, but say that
shit.
that's not really yacht rock. That's more of their own genre that we're playing around with jazz, and then kind of lead into things like Steely Dan, and again going into the Doobie Brothers and stuff. So it's a very interesting thing that they show how it started, how it kind of fell off, how it even got its name, because its name wasn't of that period in the 70s. The name actually got derived more recently in the last decade.
I didn't even know it had a name.
Yeah,
Truthfully.
that's exactly. Yeah, it was something that kind of came about organically.
I only know because there's a Family Guy episode where they go to a yacht rock cruise.
They do.
Yeah.
It's referenced in there too. Yeah,
And there's
it's a
some
great
people that are guests on it that are like yacht rock people, and it's like Peter has a moment several times when he finds out one of the artists he came to see dies. It's pretty funny.
They're just playing sailing in the background.
I mean, that's like the pinnacle song, right? Of like if you think of
It is. I really like that song
Sailing
too,
right
I'm not
there,
gonna lie.
Breakers Cross. That's the song on the nose.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's just a fun, silly documentary that does give you some really insightful information on like the transition period of like most of this era. You're talking about the kind of rock aspect of it, of coming off of the 60s hippie rock kind of thing to going more soft, and then also going into disco, and then the fading of disco into pop. And this kind of has a slice out of all that pop culture stuff and being something that's unique, and seeing where that fit in and where it's kind of gone from there and how it fell apart because of, I mean, just like a lot of other genres, because of Michael Jackson and Thriller and how he kind of ushered in the MTV era. So that I think it's a very interesting documentary, but also very fun and some great music. So if anything, just to watch it and vibe out to it, I think it's worth your time.
I have a feeling my mom might really like this documentary. It seems like up her alley.
Dude, I got a feeling I might like this documentary.
I mean, shit, me too. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
You'll get into the vibes. I'm telling you, worth
What are you
worth
doing
your
now,
time.
Nabil? You getting real pics now? What are you doing? What do you think you're doing, Nabil?
Yeah, but that's what I've been watching, Marco.
Good stuff, man. Once again, a very eclectic taste, but nevertheless, we wouldn't expect anything else from Nabil.
No.
With that being said, we're moving on to Mikey. What have you been watching, sir?
So I have been going through a bunch of animated movies and shows.
Okay,
And,
we're going to skip this one then.
Yeah, I didn't know where you were
James.
gonna go with that.
It's
not
appropriate
for all.
Said,
It's
I'm
my-
going through some
I
shit
should
right
know
now,
your
guys.
audience. Yeah.
Just want to let you know I'm going through some shit. So nothing. Oh, okay.
So we might get canceled after I mention some of this shit, guys. It's like, fuck.
Yeah. Been doing the dark web a bit, so
So yeah, no, I've been going through a bunch of animated stuff here, mostly anime, but also some other animated stuff through the streaming services. And one I kind of want to mention was Secret Level. It's on Amazon Prime Video right now, and it's basically an anthology series that goes through a bunch of video game worlds. I guess is how I'll say it. They're not like storylines from the video games or anything like that, but they're in those worlds or kind of original storylines from them. And the animations are really good. There's 15 episodes. It came out in 2 waves, but they're all out right now. There's a lot of different things that they put in here, a lot of different styles of animation, which was really nice. The one thing I didn't like as a whole for most of them is they kind of just, if you think about how these are done, is they kind of feel like they're the first scene of a movie. They never actually finish off anything. They're just like starting a storyline and kind of giving you like room afterwards to think about whatever the movie's going to be afterwards. So they're just like starting a story. They're not actually like finishing a complete story, which was kind of weird. But if you go in there knowing that it's just going to be like a piece of a story, then I think you'll be fine. There is some really good episodes, I thought. The Armored Core one was really cool. I actually really like the Pac-Man one. I don't know why, but that one kind of stuck with me a lot. And
I
the
heard it's a
DMV one.
different take, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different. Yeah, but
I haven't finished them all yet, but it's
Yeah, they take their liberties.
Okay,
You know, they do what they can. They're all like, I mean, some of them are like 8 minutes long. Some of them are super short.
I almost
But-
feel like it's like just advertisements for it. Like, hey, now if you like Dungeons and Dragons, check out Dungeons and Dragons, right? Like,
It's
like,
pretty though. It's
No,
visually.
I
it's-
was talking
yeah.
to Mike about this before. It reminds me of like the Blizzard animation, how they have on their games. Like,
Yeah.
it's really good looking. The cinematics, like, holy shit, right? Like, it's that kind of level. Like, they're not cheapening out. You can tell. Like, they got some Prime money in there. So,
Anyone sticks out to you, Mikey? Of like, I really think this is a good one.
The D&D one's a little longer, and the Pac-Man one, I don't know why. That one's it's a little weird, but it stuck with me. Like I watched them all, and I was thinking back which one I liked, and that one is like the one that really stuck in my head. It's not exactly like the best storyline, but it's just like it's a weird take on Pac-Man,
Mm.
and so
But
it just
you,
kind of threw
Mike,
me
I
off a
thought you were
little bit.
about to be like, oh, the Conquer one. I can't wait to see how that game turns out.
Would you recommend it to casual viewers, Mikey, or just mainly like hardcore fans?
No, I mean you don't have to know the what the topic is before you go in. They
Yes.
do enough to kind of just like I said, they're like kind of small stories. They're not like huge and complex. So
There's
if
a
you don't know
few.
the
There's a few
characters, then-
random ones, Mikey, that I even
Yeah,
told you about. We were talking about this. I was like, I don't even know what this is from, man.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Even after I watched them, I'm like, I have no idea what this video game is, and I am a
Mm.
pretty big gamer guy.
Some are
So,
kind of older PC games too, from what I've kind of gotten from it.
so yeah, you don't have to be a fan of those. You can go in pretty much not know anything about them and still enjoy the shorts that they got. So
I will say I was disappointed a lot by the Mega Man one. I don't know how far
It's-
you guys saw it, but it's like it's fun, but it's such a tease. And I was like, geez.
Mm.
What do you
all
know?
of them are just a tease, man. It's
Yeah.
I was hoping there was more. I hope they get another round though, and they kind of flesh out some of these stories a little longer. That would be my hope at least.
Right.
But there's some really good starting points for a lot of these storylines.
I feel like they didn't advertise this that well, man.
They
Yeah,
did
I
heard
like
nobody-
early
yeah.
on.
I've
But
heard
like-
nobody talking about it, man.
Yeah, it was like I remember seeing advertisements from this way before this actually started airing. Like
I remember like
months
during
before.
Comic Con or whatever they
Mhm.
talked about it, and that was it. I was like,
I was-
that's it.
and I thought it was going to be coming soon, and it just came out right like
Did
a
a
few
year
weeks
kind of
back.
thing.
So,
Yeah.
so that seems weird that they would advertise it so far ahead of it.
It's like they did the awards ceremonies and like the big cons, but they didn't actually do anything else.
No,
But I enjoyed it, even though it was kind of short. Also, recently, my family likes Christmas movies, so we end up watching pretty much anything that's new and Christmassy.
It is
So I
that
watched,
season.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
Mikey's making it sound like it's a weird concept, but
So I watched that new Jack Black movie called Dear Santa. It's a Paramount Plus exclusive, I believe. It might not be exclusive, but it's a Paramount Plus movie. And it's basically a kid. He's dyslexic. He's writing a letter to Santa, but he accidentally writes it to Satan instead because he doesn't know how to spell stuff. And then Satan, or a devilish Jack Black, comes through and answers his prayers and kind of shows up in this kid's bedroom. And he's, I don't know, it's kind of weird. He's kind of like a genie, I guess. He offers him 3 wishes, and then Satan will take his soul. And it's just this kid. He's not like he's kind of an outcast, right? So it's got a nice storyline to it. Actually, it sounds kind of weird. Like I wasn't expecting it to go where it went, but it does kind of take you on this little journey. And this kid's kind of learning life. It's kind of like a life. He's growing up a little bit. He's got a kind of a broken
coming of
family.
age kind of movie.
Yeah, coming
Yeah.
of age, yeah. So it's not bad. Jack Black is Jack Black. So if you like Jack Black, he's the same character he is in everything else he's done.
Very
So-
zany.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of doing his
Just
you know.
yells,
A very flamboyant Satan.
probably sings a little bit sometimes for no fair reason.
Yeah.
Have a
Yeah,
bravado
you
or
guys
some
it.
shit. Yeah, I can
He's
imagine
wearing
that.
a skin tight onesie and some of these things just to kind of throw in the extra stuff. Like so, yeah. It's like I said, it's just Jack Black being Jack Black. It has some smaller roles and some cameos with like Keegan Michael Key and Post Malone's in it for a little while. So it's got some
nice.
fun characters in it. It's not bad though. It overall, if you like Christmas movies, this will kind of fill that itch, even though it's kind of a weird premise. Like you don't really see like a devilish character in most Christmassy movies, but
I was
it
gonna
still
say,
works out in the end. It's
Little twist, as
it has
Nabil
like
would
a yeah. It works out. It kind of still is. Ends up. being
Would
a
you
good
say
movie.
it's kid friendly?
Yeah, it's kid friendly. It
Alright.
revolves around a kid and his 2 friends, so it should be fine.
Nice. Hold on.
I think I'm going to keep my nieces away from this one, Mike. I'll just show them a fucking Christmas Story again, maybe.
Put Elf on.
Yeah, you can stick with those. But this one's not bad. There's nothing that terrible in it or anything like that.
Maybe Rudolph, Red-Nosed or Frosty.
Go with Frosty. Yeah, go with Frosty. Lastly, for me, another kind of Christmassy movie, I guess. It's not really Christmassy. It's just the setting isn't during Christmas, but it's Carry On. It's a new movie on Netflix.
Jesus,
it has Taron Egerton in it.
Maybe we should have started out with Mikey.
Mikey, are you mixing up the genres? It's about a terrorist attack, but it's pretty cool, man.
Just a Christmas setting. That's the whole thing I used to do. So I used to do the whole Christmas thing too. Like I did in October, I watched like 31 scary movies. I used to do the Christmas ones where I would watch Christmas movies that are not really Christmas movies. So these are like right up my alley, what I would normally watch during this time, during December.
So it's like, wait, just so I understand what this is. So it's not really a Christmas film. So does it mean it's just like set in the winter?
It's on Christmas Eve. The whole movie happens on Christmas Eve.
Movie. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say there's a Christmas tree in the background in one scene. So I just fucking figured. Might as well.
No, you mentioned like visiting a parent during Christmas, so like close enough.
It's about someone trying to get a package on a Christmas Eve flight, and Taron Egerton is a TSA agent, and they're blackmailing him. They're finding information about him to try to get this package through TSA in order to make it on this plane. And then Jason Bateman is the bad guy. And it's a thriller, so it's not really a Christmas movie at all. Like I said, Christmas setting only. But it's really like I like the performances. Both Taron Egerton and Jason Bateman do a great job. A lot of the dialogue is through phone. There's a lot of conversations that way. They're talking on the phone a lot.
Text?
Not a text. They're phone calling. They make him put his earpiece in.
Oh, okay. Oh, got
it. So they're talking to him the whole time, basically controlling him, like watching him, that kind of stuff. They do actually find each other. They actually like face-to-face talk in a few episodes, and they're really kind of good scenes. Just overall, it's a pretty good thriller.
Wait, you said episodes. This is a movie, right?
It's a movie, yeah. Did I say episodes?
Yeah, you said episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
No, I saw the thumbnail on Netflix because Jason Bateman is right on the front, and it caught my eye a little bit, but I haven't been, willing to really check it out.
What's up? Like we're gonna all sign up for the TSA, Mikey, afterwards. We're like, you goddamn America's fucking. You guys are fucking heroes in my fucking face.
Probably not. Yeah, it actually plays on everything we don't like about TSA in the movie.
Oh God,
you can make me take my shoes off anytime.
Grab your bins. Why are you staring at your bins? I'm like, I got 5 bins, ma'am. I don't know what I'm doing. It's 4 a.m. You're panicking me. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even have shoes on. Please.
Yeah, to put it in perspective, they turn off all the lines in like one of the scenes. So like all the people are going nuts. Like, why? Why can't I go? I'm going to miss my plane. So they're like flipping out.
They're telling James, sir, you don't have to put just one item in each basket. I have to. I'm OCD.
No, they're always like, sir, we told you to check the laptop out. I'm like, God, why do I feel like I don't have a college fucking degree?
But yeah, it was a good movie. I recommend if you looked at the thumbnail, like Marco here, or you read the synopsis and you're even halfway, like maybe I'll watch this later on. I would say go ahead and watch it.
I have it on my list for then before end of the year. Mike, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I like my parents would watch it too. Like they'd enjoy it probably.
Actually, James just sent me a text. He just said he took it off his list. So
yeah, same with Conclave. You know what? You guys are really selling these. Fuck.
He's like, don't have to worry about it.
I have a separate list of movies that put me to sleep at, and it's sitting at 14 different movies right now.
Oh.
That's it for me.
Right on, Mikey. And with that, we go on to our MC, James. What have you been watching, man?
Mikey and I went and saw the Lord of the Rings, the War of the Rohirrim, as they call it. Rohirrim? I don't know.
You probably got it right. I don't know.
Sure.
I had to see it in IMAX. It's not playing a lot of IMAX, so it was kind of cool. There was a lot of confusion during this screening. They had changed the time several times without telling anybody. It was weird. But it takes place 165 years before Bilbo gets the ring, actually, in The Hobbit. And it follows humans really the whole time, which is kind of cool. It's his family that is basically there. It's almost, I would say, Mikey, if you could agree with it, it's almost like a Game of Thrones kind of thing where there are 2 feuding families, and the king of it, his name is like Hammer or something. Oh, Helm Hammerhand or something like that. So he kills this other family's father, and the son basically is seeking revenge on them. And we follow one of the, I think she's technically a princess, I guess, Hera, but she basically goes to like a keep, and she's holding off this huge army that is building out, trying to like get them by kind of a war of attrition. But the film is done in an anime style. It's directed actually by a really famous anime director named Kenji Kamiyama, who did a lot of like the Ghost in the Shell anime back in the day. He was big because he just did the Blade Runner anime show, which I wasn't like the biggest fan of, Black Lotus, but there are some fans of it. But I can't deny that the animation looks amazing, and that's true for this film as well. The animation was great. I really like this one. The pacing, it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes long. It's not like short at all, but the pacing is really well done. It has a really good story. It's about family. It's about revenge. It has connections to the Lord of the Rings films, but it's enough that it's its own little story too. Not that it's not like a member berry thing where it's like, well, look at this, Gandalf, all this stuff. But I thought it was great. It was really epic. The action was awesome. There's some really cool scenes. I'm telling you, the animation is what really makes it work here. And if you were a Lord of the Rings fan, I would definitely say this is like a must watch.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean they don't even they say a couple things that are referenced from Lord of the Rings, but they don't
There's
even
a few
mention
characters,
that
I
much.
would say, technically. And then if you know the Lord of the Rings, you would probably guess who's still around that far back.
But yeah, the animation does kill it. There is one scene where this guy is like an animal almost, and it is crazy. It's crazy. It's a very anime style, but it was awesome.
Jimmy on a Friday night. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, it's happening again. I'm transforming. So yeah, that was Lord of the Rings, the War of the Rohirrim, I believe is how you pronounce it. I don't think they ever mentioned that shit in the movie. Or maybe they did. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't remember it.
But it was awesome. I had a lot of fun. And like I said, we saw it in IMAX, so it was cool too. Just to like the sheer look of it all was really cool overall. Another movie that I saw was The Order, which was, I don't even know if that's in theaters anymore, to tell you the truth, but it stars Jude Law as an FBI agent that is assigned to a somewhat remote area in the Pacific Northwest, where there is a series of crimes such as robberies and murders happening in the area that is tied back into a Aryan race brotherhood, but it's like this sounds weird. It's off of like an even crazier sect of them that is branched off, led by Nicholas Hoult, which is Nicholas Holt's just in everything nowadays, I guess, technically. Look at that. We all did one. And then Nabils like, and then Nosferatu comes out next week or this week. Oh my God, he went for the triple threat.
He's also Lex Luthor.
I know,
right?
Some Lex Luthor.
So it is like a mystery the whole time because he's working with another young local cop named Jamie, played by Ty Sheridan, who I thought was really good as well. And they are trying to get to the bottom of it because they're finding out like they might have based it on this kind of tale that they have called The Order, where it's basically like a manifesto of how to do terrorism and how the different steps to lead into like taking over the government shit. It's fucking wild, dude. It's like I said though, before, it's fucking pretty heavy. It's not like a pick me up film. Well, I mean, maybe for Mikey, apparently. It probably is a Christmas one to Mikey. So he's like, and then Santa came and gave them all gifts. Especially like the last 30 minutes, they do a really good job in the film of like building tension, because there's a lot of those moments where it's like he almost gets him, or he's really close to him, or he's not aware he's there, but so one of the characters is aware and you see it from their perspective. It's really well written. It's shot really nice. I think Jude Law is great. He's really solid in this movie, and he's just acting his ass off, really. He's not like a perfect character either. He's there for like a certain reason why, because he was previously like a agent in New York, and he had gotten kind of really deep in with the mafia and all this stuff. It's pretty crazy, so highly recommend it.
Up my alley.
I think all three of you guys would enjoy this movie, to tell you the truth.
Well, Mikey's rock fucking hard right now, so I think that's a yes.
Mikey's taking his fucking niece and nephew to see it for Christmas.
This will give us this spirit of
old see what you don't got to put up with. Yeah, you be thankful now. You don't take two of them breads, you take one. So But solid movie. I liked it a lot, man. It's great. I thought Ty Sheridan was good too. I've seen him in a few things since Ready Player One, and I think he's a solid actor too. So, lastly, I want to talk about a train wreck that Mikey and I saw called Kraven the Hunter. It is the last Sony Spider-Man universe spum film
universe.
And boy, was this one wild. I only fell asleep once, just briefly during a chase scene. So that should give you a little heads up.
Wow.
I was like, damn, catch that motherfucker. Mikey was like, whoa. And I woke up, I was like, yeah, that's crazy. Did a guy's throat or something? Anyways, Kraven is the long line of Kraven the Hunter, basically. I mean, this movie is almost so bad it's good. I was laughing for most of it because the dialogue itself, like Aaron Taylor Johnson really seems like a cool dude in real life, but even like Russell Crowe and him in this movie are saying these lines that are just so fucking bad, man. It made Morbius look like an Oscar-winning fucking movie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, man. There were times in this where don't get me wrong. So it actually looks good. I'll admit that. Outside of some people don't like how the rhino looks, but whatever, it's fine. I thought it actually looked good. It was shot pretty well. It's just like the direction that they went with in the plot is really stupid. They have a lot of like, I don't know why they kept trying to do this thing where they were like, people must like these anti-heroes because that's why we watch these, right? No, it's because Spider-Man, dude. We don't give a shit about
but
these guys.
Kraven isn't an anti-hero. They're making him one. He's always been a villain.
I mean, he's doing some pretty violent shit in here. He's not exactly holding back from stuff, but that's just the way he is. So there's a scene first, just like a heads up. First 8 minutes of the film, they showed off, right? I don't know if this is in that part, but he comes across a wolf in the snow, right? Mikey knows what I'm talking about. And the wolf is just like snarling, and then out of nowhere, he's like, I respect you. And then like puts his head down like this. I was dying. I was crying for laughter. And I was like, dude, that like this is the first 10 minutes, dude. And they don't ever jump into why he even has these abilities. You would have thought there'd be a longer montage sequence of, oh, he's learning his stuff. And like, no, dude, they jump from him being a kid later on in the film to an adult. And then it's like, there's a chick called Calypso in this movie where... Dude, they say the grandmother says her name 17 times in the first fucking 5 minutes of the intro of her. She's like, oh no, Calypso, you have to come here, Calypso. Dude, if there was a drinking game to drink every time you hear Calypso, you'd be fucking dead 35 minutes in, dude.
You're like, hey, what's that? What's her fucking name again?
And then even Mikey and I looked at her, I'm like, dude, does she gotta say her name any more fucking... dude, like, it's noticeable. Like, I looked over at Mikey, he's like, can they stop doing that? Like, that's getting kind of... Is this the first take?
I mean, literally says the name twice in the same sentence.
Yeah, at one point, I swear to God, I'm not even like exaggerating. And then the rhino guy, he's got his little Marco backpack on. It's fucking hilarious. That's all I remember the whole time. He's like, got my little backpack on. The rhino. The skin condition that make me turn into rhino.
It's my horn like this.
Hey, look at me, man. My skin get all scaly. I need lotion. But it's almost like one of those films. I think it's funny enough that if you see it with your friends or people, that it's laughable. It's insane how bad this movie was.
It just sounds like these movies keep getting progressively worse.
Venom 3 was way better. I watched Venom 3 over this.
I find these movies separate from Venom. Like Venom is its own thing, and then you have like these three, like Morbius, Madam Web, and then this one, and then they're their own thing. Like that's kind of how I see it, and it seems like those movies just keep getting worse and worse.
Yeah, they're all part of the same universe. So,
good God,
I did think the action was good though.
Action is pretty good, man. There's a sequence where he's chasing after them because they take his brother, who is played by the same guy that's one of the emperors in the Gladiator 2, by the way.
The younger one, right?
Not the guy that's not Joseph Quinn there, who turns out to be Chameleon, by the way.
Oh, spoiler.
Trust me, they say it 10 minutes
obvious.
in. This dead, like he's like a chameleon. Literally what he says, dude. Hey, my son sings so well, like chameleon.
He actually sounds like that too. It sounds exactly like him.
I'm not lying. That's literally Russell Crowe's accent. He put on the Russian accent to the max. But yeah, check out Kraven the Hunter. It's a good laugh.
Sounds like a great comedy,
dude. I'm telling you, I laughed more than anything in this movie. What about you, Marco? What have you been watching?
Not Kraven, I'll tell you that. I guess with that said, I watched Dune Prophecy, the Dune spin-off TV show on HBO Max, or Max now. I can't stop calling it HBO, whatever. It's a Dune show that takes place 10,000 years before the movies, and it stars Emily Watson and Mark Strong and Travis Fimmel, and it's basically the origin story of the Sisterhood of the Bene Gesserit. It's a very slow burn, I'll tell you that. Like the first 2 episodes, like they're kind of tough to get through. I'm not gonna lie. There's just like
you're not lying.
Definitely.
So it's very dialogue heavy, but there's a reason for it. They got to get through a lot, and I didn't know it was going to be only 6 episodes until I watched like some reviews on it, and I'm like, it's only going to be 6 episodes. I was like, no wonder they're fucking talking a lot in the first 2. They have to convey a lot of information in those first 2, but it's basically they're like, if you're not familiar with Dune, like the Bene Gesserit, and this is like not really a spoiler, but they basically influence like the galaxy of the Imperium. They're advisors to all the great houses, and including the Emperor. And with that, they're able to, suggest things to them that shapes the way the Imperium is. And this is kind of like the infancy of that and how they get to that. It takes place not that far off from the Butlerian Jihad, which was the Great War against the AI machines, which is why they don't use AI in the future. And
they can bring it up.
Yeah, they're just starting to impose their influence on the Imperium with the Emperor Javico Carino, played by Mark Strong, and apparently this weird guy comes in, played by Travis Fimmel, named Desmond Hart, and he's got these weird abilities that they're not aware of, and it's sort of throwing their plans array, and they're trying to discover like who the fuck this mystery man is and what the fuck is going on. Meanwhile, they're having a lot of division within the sisterhood. Some don't trust each other. They're not sure like what the future of the sisterhood is. And I will say it has a pretty good payoff for like the last episode. I just wish they probably could have smoothed it out at like the first 2 or 3 episodes. There's quite a few things that they could have done without, some subplots involving the ancestors of Atreides and like the Emperor's daughter that they never really circle back to or resolve to a point. But aside from that, I enjoyed it. It's not very action packed. It's very dialogue heavy and story driven. It's shot beautifully though. It feels very much in tune with the world that Villeneuve has established in the Duneverse, if you will. They have great
a drop down production version of the film.
At some points, I mean, sometimes they have scenes in a club / bar that kind of, in some ways, kind of take you out of it a little bit until shit happens later on in the TV series. As you're like, okay, yeah, this takes place in Dune. But I will say, like, the performances are really good. I want to say it's episode 3 or 4 is like an entire flashback episode. That's one of my favorites of the entire series, other than the season finale. And it's just shot so beautiful, taking place primarily like surrounded by nature. I can't really say what it's about because it's kind of like a spoiler, but I will say that it's one of the most enjoyable episodes. You see like the marriage of nature and technology in the world of Dune that they describe so well, like in the books, and it gives you like a real insight as to like how these people live. But it also helps progress the story too, and the flashback does have a payoff like that really helps explain the ending. But I mean, if you're a hardcore fan of the Dune series, I'd say go ahead and watch it. If you're a completionist, go ahead and watch it.
I think that's who it's for, man. Because like I don't know if the show's doing very well because I have heard no one talking about it. Yeah, I think they really lost a lot of people after those first 2 episodes where it's like, holy shit.
I think that's what really hurt it. Is they should have come out really strong with the first 2 episodes and then delve into like the storyline. But I think
there's a lot of subplots too. I think, man, where like I couldn't name you outside of the Bene Gesserit bitch, the 2 sisters. I can't name you a single fucking character. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, because that's all I saw the first episode and I was like, you know what? This is let's wait till it's all out and I'll binge it.
I got 1 episode left and I'm like, I'm gonna have to Wikipedia this shit afterwards.
No, yeah, it touches base on a lot of other stuff. I had to do the same, James, but I'm a huge Dune fan, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but if you're a casual fan, you don't have to watch it. They'll give it a shot if you will. Help support.
I really
it.
wish they had. I mean, you could tell too. It's like there's aspects of it that are cool, like the mysterious dude with his powers and all this shit, and it's just like. Then it goes back to the sisterhood, and that's like when the story slows down and shit. Like, yo, go back to that guy. I kind of want to know more about him now. Even though I know this is not the point of the show, but
did you finish it, James? Any chance?
I'll probably watch it tonight.
They save everything about that guy for the very last episode, which I think was a mistake. I feel like that was a mistake. They should have sprinkled it. It's a good payoff, but I feel like they should have sort of sprinkled some stuff in there.
All right, I'll just stick to Creature Commandos. God damn it, I get it. Fuck.
That's one I watch. But yeah, it's it's interesting. It's a sci-fi shit. I like that shit. But aside from that, delving into more sci-fi shit, I also saw Skeleton Crew, or I am watching Skeleton Crew, the new Star Wars TV show on Disney Plus, starring Jude Law, someone who's also been mentioned here.
Oh, look at that! We're all like a little connection.
Look, we're all touching streams. So this takes place around the time of the Mandalorian, aroundish. It's after the fall of the Empire. It's about these 4 bratty kids who are, 2 of them are seeking adventure. The other 2 are just kind of bored with their life on their planet at Atten. They end up discovering this cave that turns out to be a ship. That's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer. And they end up adventuring out into space outside of the world for the first time. They come across Jude Law, who is a Force sensitive. That's also in the trailer, so I didn't spoil it. And basically, they're just trying to find their way home while at the same time trying to solve the mystery of, their planet and the greater galaxy and what's going on. And that's all I can say without really spoiling much. It's fun. It's charming. It's got Goonies vibes, Flight of the Navigator vibes, Explorers vibes, all these like classic 80s movies that really like had these kids going.
Yeah, a lot of those Amblin films kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very kid friendly. The child actors, surprisingly enough, they're not that annoying with the exception of maybe the character Fern. I feel like she hams it way too much with her attitude. I get she's supposed to be the nerf herder of the group, but it's like she just hams it a little bit too much up until like the most recent episode. I feel like they do her pretty good, which I think is like episode 5. But it feels like Star Wars, it's adventure. It's some of these kids feel like they're like fanboys that are wanting to live in the world of Star Wars and then realize that they are actually living in the world of Star Wars. Jude Law does a great performance. He's very charming, very slick. You don't really know much about him other than, he used to be part of a pirate crew and he fucks up and now he lost his crew and he's, joining these kids because he thinks they're his free meal ticket to credits and finding a way the fuck away from his old crew. But if you're a Star Wars fan, I'd say, it's for you. It's not really like The Mandalorian or Ahsoka, which are like a little bit more serious tone, more like adult oriented, teen oriented. It really is just kind of for kids. I've been watching it with my son Xander and he's been really enjoying it. He thinks it's fun and enjoyable.
Oh, Xander's right, because it is fun. I'm having a lot of fun watching Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, you can tell it's made for kids, but it's definitely good. I still enjoy it too.
The production quality is also really good.
Yeah, especially after watching The Acolyte, right? Oh, what happened?
Yeah, dude, the VFX and the space scenes, I'm like, oh shit, this is like fucking movie quality. Like when they show the pirate station and all the ships tethered together, I'm like, that looks really fucking good. So
it's funny that like we always give Disney this pass, like they couldn't do this with every single thing they do.
Seriously,
with how big of a business, like, oh my god, it looks good. Like we shouldn't even have to say that. Like,
and how much they spend on these shows.
That's what I mean, dude. Like every fucking one of these should look like this, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true. Seems like they finally got the look kind of right with this show.
I like it. Looks good. It's a good mixture of, there's a lot of CG obviously, but you do a good job. It's a lot of fun. It's one of the few shows I look forward to every week.
Sames. Aside from that, I also watched Demolition Man with my son Xander. Because he'd never seen it. And I think that's a crime. I was actually his age, the ripe old age of 10 years old, when I saw that movie. And I was like, oh, perfect. We can watch it. Let's do it.
Did you eat Taco Bell when you ate it?
I think
Or did you eat
did.
Pizza Hut because it's Pizza Hut in the overseas? Did you know they changed it?
Yeah, they changed. 'Cause I don't know what the fuck Taco Bell is.
Sorry, Jesus.
Yeah, I know, right? Dude, I saw that in a trivia video and I was like, are you fucking serious? But I mean, if you've been asleep for like the past 40 years or so, like it's a movie starring Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes, and Stallone plays, a cop named John Spartan, who is going after Wesley Snipes' character, who's a like Simon Phoenix, who's a crazy, psycho criminal. Basically catches him, and then they both get frozen into the future. They get woken up 30 years later. It's in LA, and everything has changed, the landscape, because of a big earthquake. And John Spartan is now supposed to help capture this guy once again, because he's running amok in the future. And supposedly in this future, it's a peaceful utopia where you don't curse, and there's no killing, there's virtually no crime, but it comes at a price that is yet to be discovered in the movie. Zan really fucking enjoyed this movie. He really likes Sylvester Stallone. We've seen all the Rocky movies, and so like he calls him Rocky all the time. He's like, he's Rocky, dude. I was like, yeah, true, he's Rocky. And we recently saw Blade 2 not too long ago, so he's been introduced to Wesley Snipes. So I'm like, you want to watch another Wesley Snipes movie too? And he's been enjoying it, man. The action in this movie.
He's just like a 10-year gap in his resume. What happened to him?
I was like, he didn't pay his taxes, bud. He thought he was slick. Anyway.
Blade don't pay no tax.
You don't need to pay your taxes, baby.
How'd you guys watch it, by the way?
We actually saw it on the Vudu for free. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Say, they recently just released on 4K 3-hour video, and it's supposed to be a really good transfer. So,
yeah, I was like, I didn't want to wait for it, but I'm gonna buy it eventually because
it does have the international version where the only difference is that Pizza Hut logo.
See, I want to fucking see that. Sure.
Both versions are
kind
of weird.
It's aged pretty well, man. The action sequences are really well done. It shows, practical effects actually help age things really well. There's a lot of commentary that kind of transfers well to today's society as well too.
I'm sure they finally explain how to use the 3 clamshells or the seashells.
You actually can Google that, and it's fucking disgusting. But yeah, man, it's still fun. It still hits. I mean, obviously, there's some jokes that from the '90s that probably don't really resonate well today. But it's a product of its time, and the overall product itself is actually really good.
Not a lot of one-liners.
Oh yeah, dude, it's classic Stallone and Snipes, just quips back and forth, dude.
All right, let's move on now to our review of Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Here we go. Showtime!
What is this den of madness?
Are you Detective Pikachu?
He does look like a Pokemon! Pika Pika!
Konichi, what? Get down!
It's time, Shadow. Finally, we will have our revenge. But what good is a dastardly plot if you can't conspire with family?
There's 2 Eggmen now?
Double your villains, double your fun.
Sitting at 86%, Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails reunite against a powerful new adversary, Shadow, a mysterious villain with powers unlike anything they have faced before. With their abilities outmatched, Team Sonic must seek out an unlikely alliance. Directed by Jay Fowler, who also directed the other 2 Sonic the Hedgehog films, as well as the Knuckles TV show. It was written by Pat Casey, who did Violent Night, as well as Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2. Josh Miller, same as Pat Casey's written all the same things. And John Whittington, who wrote also the Lego Batman movie in 2017, When We First Met in 2022, and DC League of Super Pets in 2022. This was just released in theaters on December 20th, 2024 in theaters. The budget of $122 million. It's already made $63.4 million so far. This stars as the voice of Sonic is Ben Schwartz. The voice of Shadow is Keanu Reeves. The voice of Tails is Colleen O'Shaughnessy. And the voice of Knuckles is Idris Elba. Jim Carrey also stars as Dr. Robotnik, as well as Professor Gerald Robotnik. James Marsden returns as Tom. Tika Sumpter returns as Maddie. Lee Majdoub returns as well as Agent Stone. And Christian Ritter is Director Rockwell. So it's been a while. I know we've reviewed them all before. I don't know if we've gotten Mikey's opinion on them all, but how do you guys like the previous Sonic films, 1 and 2? And even if you guys checked out the Paramount Plus show, Knuckles, which takes place after the second film. What did you guys think of that? Start with you, Nabil.
For what they are, they're actually not too bad. There's a lot of nostalgia around that, I think, for me, just knowing the characters and the games, of course. But
So you were aware kind of the Maria Shadow storyline
Yeah.
even before this too? Yes, same
Right.
here.
Yep.
You like
so
I played, Sonic Adventures
Sonic
2
Adventure, yeah.
and Shadow the Hedgehog. I
Mhm.
get it, Nabil. Relax. Yeah.
So I mean, it's they do pretty well for what it is. They lean into the silliness, and that I like. It's not taking itself too seriously, but at the same time, they know where the focus on. Like, yeah, they have the heart with Tom, but really, it's about Sonic, and they give you just enough of that interaction with the human and the hedgehog, and then be like, okay, but we're really here for the hedgehog. So I like that they're not trying to force it down to you, like, oh no, but this is real life, so it's great. Like, no, it's a fucking hedgehog who's blue, who's talking to you and running around the world. Like
The title's not Sonic the Hedgehog and Tom 3, so I mean,
exactly.
again.
And that's what a lot of the first one was, which is fine. But as each film has gotten better,
We'll
I think
talk about that. I
it's
think it's
balanced.
almost like they were trying to play it safe in the first one because they didn't know how they were going to do it. They're like, I don't know.
Right.
It's
Well, I
gonna be
mean,
it's got to be a buddy film.
they definitely got a lot of input from the public from that first one.
Yeah,
so
especially for
better.
that first trailer
Yeah.
where we had a freakish Sonic, as we would call him.
Right. So
the
yeah,
teeth.
I think as a whole that they've done pretty well with these films for what the material is.
Yeah. What about you, Mikey?
Yeah, I think they're fun. They're just fun movies. You don't got to take them seriously. I think Jim Carrey kind of carries these movies. He's just back to his normal Jim Carrey self, I guess, how I wanted to see him in movies. And he takes those as Dr. Robotnik and he just goes off the wall and it's fun. And then, I kind of echo everything else that Nabil said. So it's just a fun movie that kind of just doesn't take itself super serious and just has some fun.
Yeah. What about you, Marco?
The same what these guys are saying. I think they're fun. They're great. I've seen all of them. Also was in, and he's enjoying them. So it's kind of been fun to kind of see the progression of these movies. And felt like the second one was way stronger than the first one. And like Mike was saying, Jim Carrey is always fucking amazing to watch in these. He's just hilarious Jim.
It's wild. He came out of retirement just to film this. So it's like he's only really done Sonic stuff and randomly shit with The Weeknd in the last couple of years. And it's like, okay, I guess that's just what he's doing now. Yeah, no, I same with you guys. I've always had a lot of fun with these. I've watched every one of these with my girlfriend Janelle, and she's actually really enjoyed these too. It's one of the few films she's always down to see. I think it's also because we always go and there's always a bunch of kids when we watch these, and they're always having a good time. I remember at the end of the second film when they revealed Shadow was there was a kid that it looked like his fucking mind just got blown. Greatest day of his fucking life. I was like, my God, look at him.
Yeah, that's how Zan was too. We have a cat. He has a cat, and he named him Shadow after Shadow. So.
He's got darkness in him. Nice. He's like, this cat walks around with a pistol sometimes. It's weird.
Yeah, sometimes he pulls it out. I'm like, well, hey, relax. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm from the streets.
Yeah, this is my life. And he drives off on his motorcycle. Oh no! But yeah, even the TV show is good. I watched it after Mikey had recommended it before, and that's cool. Like you said, it's not a very big story to it all, but it does give you a little bit more into Knuckles and a little side story with Gunn and stuff like that. But it's cool.
The music's fire on that short. Sorry, I just want to throw out
in the TV show.
That whole
you got some
budget
good
was
music.
spent on the licensing of those songs. I was like, damn.
There's not
they
many
got some good
episodes.
songs
That's
there.
why I was thinking. So I was like, their budget was mostly this and getting Kid Cudi, right?
Mhm, exactly.
And talk about a show that looks good. That show actually looks really good. The colors, they don't cheap out on the effects of how fast they're going and shit. It's like, it looks cool. So
They kept pretty consistent. It's a good in between.
yeah, I would say so too. Which has a slight payoff actually for this movie, which was kind of nice to see. By the way, and it's like a warrior. It's like I know exactly what
small
you're
one,
talking about. Yeah. So, Mikey, let's start with you. What was your thoughts on Sonic the Hedgehog 3?
I liked it. I don't have too much of a background with Shadow, so I didn't know his story previous to this movie. I didn't play that video game back in the day. So
You didn't have a Dreamcast?
I did have a Dreamcast, but I didn't have this game. So I didn't know the storytelling too much, but I liked what I saw.
Well, the Dreamcast failed. People like you. I'm just kidding. You son of a bitch, Mikey.
No, but I liked what they showed us of the new character of Shadow, and Jim Carrey still being Jim Carrey. He goes a little bit more over the top in this one because he's got two Jim Carreys basically. So I think it was a little bit much, but it still paid off. It still was fun.
Yeah,
still kept the heart of the other two. I thought so. It still did take itself seriously. Still had fun with it. This one had a little bit of a message. I think they all have a little bit of a message
They
to
do.
them. But this one they kind of drove it home a little bit more, I thought, in this one.
About
than the other
teamwork
two.
and believing and not seeking revenge, Michael. Marco, what about you? What did you think of Sonic 3?
Well, I too am responsible for the Dreamcast failing, so I didn't know much about Shadow's background either. However, I did play a lot of Crazy Taxi like Mikey and a lot of Street Fighter.
You didn't play like
Alpha.
the PlayStation 2 game, the like Dirge of Cerberus rip off of fucking with
Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
No,
No,
Marco was
no.
42 when that came out, Nabil.
Yeah,
Sorry.
pretty much.
He wasn't fucking with
I
fucking
mean,
Sonic
I
Adventure. He was too
played
busy
Sonic-
paying taxes.
1 and 2 on the regular Sega, man, but I didn't douche on the Dreamcast. But I felt kind of like what you were saying. It was a fun movie. Yeah, each Sonic movie has a solid message. The first one's about trust. The second one's about him learning to grow up a little and mature and be on his own. And this one's about letting go of hate and anger
And family.
and
Sorry.
family. Yeah, and not relying solo, relying on a team, on friends. And I think that they're really solid lessons for kids and stuff. And this one really hammered it home. I didn't have too much of a problem with Jim Carrey playing two characters. Like I felt he was good at riffing with himself. Obviously, it's himself.
If anyone
but
can do it, it's him, right?
yeah, one's a douche and one's a super douche. So it's
Love
like
how they make he's like it's like we're an actor playing the same character in a
yeah,
movie.
there's the
Oh,
self awareness in this movie is also what makes it work. Also,
It's
like
funny, yeah.
it's great, and that really helps, and it shows that they know what they're doing with this product. But yeah, really fun, man.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun too. I thought it was a solid movie. I really like the Sonic franchise, so I don't have really much more to say than that. That you guys already haven't said. So they have like a lot of. I will say though, I didn't think it was as funny as the second one. I remember laughing a lot more in the second film compared to this one. But don't get me wrong, there's some moments in this one. But like when the dog, for instance, like translated, he's like, "You took my humans away." I don't know why.
I feel like it's funnier
hit me
more
hard.
towards the end, like when Jim Carrey is more with himself.
I think so
And
because I think it was more funny throughout the second one, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be a little tidbit on it. So let's get into the plot. Nabil, I'll start with you with it. You can jump some plot points here. What did you think of the plot overall, without overall spoiling it, I guess? We'll talk about it more. There's not much to spoil, but that's what we say about everything nowadays because we just don't give a fuck. We're like, whatever, just ruin it for everyone. What did you think about the plot of basically Shadow waking up, attacking Yorma from the fucking Lonely Island, and then basically escaping and then joining forces with the Robotniks to try to basically destroy the world? Pull a Thanos ×2. Because
I mean, that's basically what they're doing, right? Yeah, I think I actually thought that this was for what it is, it was a pretty good plot for like compared to the other two films, especially where Shadow's being introduced, his motivations for being angry, his connection with why he's actually interested in working with the other Robotnik, Gerald Robotnik, and then being able to see what the reason he doesn't even like the other hedgehogs. Like he's like, you guys are just naive and just kids and you don't understand, what's going on over here. He's just
he's like, I'm edgy. I got these J's.
I mean, it's super emo the whole time.
They look like 13s.
Yeah. So I think that there's a good thorough line here of what Shadow's arc is. I think he does flip, and this is a bit spoiler, but he does flip a bit towards the end quicker than I would have expected, just the way he changes over, but okay. And I also think that the Sonic story is interesting because he's in every, like Mike was saying, there's a lesson over here, but I think that this is kind of each film, it's like he's a child, he's a teenager, and he's like a young adult, right? And so in like this film, he's learning about being out on his own, having a family, doing his own thing, and then having to also make decisions that impacts everybody, and he can't save everyone, right? And so I think that that's a good kind of progression for him of what he was doing and the support system he has around him and what they let him do. Like that was a good dynamic that between that the three of Knuckles and Tails and him working together. I really like that teamwork aspect of it and what that message went throughout the film. They could have gotten way cheesier. They could have cut everybody on the side, but they made everybody an integral part of the story as they went through. So I did enjoy how that worked out.
Yeah, that works for it. What about you, Marco?
All what Nabil said.
Pretty much, right?
I'm just kidding. But yeah, I like the background story for Shadow. I like that he starts off as the villain, and I like that we see like his backstory like sprinkled throughout, and it's not told to us, it's shown to us like how it's supposed to in a movie. And for a kids movie, that's done really well. There's
Yeah, if this was Kraven the Hunter, they would have been like, Shadow got betrayed by his family and friends.
Basically, it would have been like a 15-minute convo, and I'm like, you could just show the fucking flashback.
He'd be like, what the fuck is Russell Crowe doing in this movie?
Jesus Christ. And they rarely have any dialogue in those background shots. It's just a lot of action.
It's kind of a big montage, I think, right?
Exactly, yeah. And it makes you kind of care for him too, which is great. And the character growth for Sonic and his friends, or mainly for Sonic, I think is also great with him growing up to be like this heroic character. I do feel that Tails and mainly Knuckles are sort of sidelined a little bit, though. Like they're just sort of there. They're just his team. But I mean, it still works for me.
There's almost too many characters now, and I mean, it's even going to get more apparently in the next one. So,
I think so. I think that's gonna. I don't know how they're gonna pull off like the next movie, but it still worked for this because I mean, Sonic is the main character, so he should be the one that has like the character arc in this. Like everyone else, I guess, is just there. I felt like the plot, although simple, there's still, again, we get the lesson, we get character arc for both characters, both Sonic and also for Shadow, and I think it it doesn't really overstay its welcome either. You get a nice set piece at the end taking place in space, which is fucking awesome. And
very reminiscent of the games. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. The special effects is really good too.
Yeah, no, they do. They looked. It's always been pretty solid. Mikey, what about you? What do you think about character wise? So, like, what did you feel like stood out for you with Sonic in this one compared to the other two?
Well, I just think the background. The other two guys just mentioned basically the storyline and the plot, and I think that feels a little different in this one than it did the other two. I feel like especially on the the evil side, the bad guys actually had like motivation in this one, whereas in the other one I feel like they were just chasing Sonic. So it kind of gives a different vibe, and it kind of works. Nabil kind of mentioned it, and I never actually kind of placed it. He's kind of like a young adult now in like the grand scheme of things, and it does kind of feel like a more adult storyline kind of so.
Isn't he hella old?
He is hella old, though.
Yeah, he was living on Earth for hella years.
But like for some reason, he's treated as a kid here by Tom as a dad.
I'm like, this motherfucker 45 years old, isn't he?
But yeah, no, I just feel like there's a lot more motivation shown. There's a lot more background with the flashbacks and such for Shadow, and I think it kind of makes the villains work a little bit better because you kind of see things from their side. And then you still have the craziness that we were kind of talking about beforehand. They're just got the same vibe as the other ones, where you kind of got off the wall comedy with Robotniks, the both of them. There's a dancing scene which is like completely unnecessary, but it's completely awesome that they needed to put in there.
Oh, I loved it though. I thought
the lasers are like bouncing off their bellies and stuff. I mean, it was hilarious. It's great. So they still got those nice prime scenes of everybody being kind of crazy. Good background story to kind of make everybody kind of flow together, and then we kind of already got like the quote unquote twists at the end. They work out too. They're justified on how they kind of come out, even if they happen a little quickly. So I just think everything kind of flows pretty well.
Yeah, what did you think, Nabil, of Keanu Reeves voicing Shadow?
At first it felt a bit stilted with the intro, but I got used to it as we kind of went along with it.
What do you mean?
I don't know. His voice is very recognizable. Yeah, so you hear him talking, you're like,
I mean, because theoretically he watched Speed in the first or second film. I'm like, he's aware Keanu Reeves is a real person in this universe. Just to let you know,
because he does bring it up. Yeah, in the first film.
Just saying.
It's kind of weird to hear him, but like I said, as you kind of go through it, you kind of get used to it. Also, Shadow doesn't really talk that much, so it is like when he does speak, it's not like Idris Elba where he's doing a kind of a voice, like it's him, but he's doing a voice. Keanu Reeves just is Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, pretty much. He's not going to disguise his voice. I mean, He tried disguising his voice once in Bram Stoker's Dracula. I mean, we saw that happen, so he won't do it again, boys. Just let you know.
Yeah, it was a train wreck.
Oh, Dracula. Marco, what did you think about the two Robotniks then with Jim Carrey?
I think it worked. I think it was great that, again, Jim Carrey was riffing off himself. He did a great job at differentiating both as well. It was hilarious that it was hilarious that Gerald Robotnik was even more of a piece of shit than Dr. Robotnik, and that as the story progressed, like they were developing this like relationship, but it was like evil relationship, and so like
Yeah.
They were subtly like trying to like not fuck each other over, but like get a one up on each other.
Trying to definitely show like I'm more evil than you. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like they're both trying to show off their evilness, and then it's really funny right before the dance scene with all the lasers. Dr. Robotnik pushes Gerald in just to make sure the fucking suit.
He's like, I had a test. He's like, wait, what?
But yeah, I think it even helps Robotnik's character too to have some family member, some estranged family member come out and make him not just a one-dimensional evil haha bad guy. I mean, he pretty much is, but this adds a little bit more depth to him. He also sets aside his lackey again.
Yeah, Agent Stone.
Yeah. And just freaking ditches him just because he found his grandfather.
He's like, you can leave now.
It definitely added to the comedy of the film. I think it didn't overstay its welcome for me.
Yeah, that's a cool scene with Agent Stone. He's like fighting the people randomly in the Chow Garden, which I thought was dope because that's a reference to the game. I was like, are those chows? One thing I want to bring up is Tom and Maddie definitely take the most backseat out of anyone in this one. I have a feeling that it was something early on where in that first film, it's like Nabil had brought it up where it was like a buddy film with Tom and Sonic and they're traveling and I forgot. I don't know why the fuck Sonic can't go fast again in that one. Is something wrong with him? Was his shoes bad? I don't remember. But it's like that was the focus of that one. And then that second one, there's a little bit more of them. There's not much more of the humans. Like Nabil said, they understand who the star is now, right? And they're like, okay,
everyone want to kill James Marsden. He does and everything. The second
film, they give him a whole fucking B plot to sideline him to go with this wedding thing, like
and the Hawaii thing or some shit, right? Yeah, it's stupid.
Like the worst part of that film was that B plot.
It doesn't even need it, and even in this one, like they didn't need to be in this movie.
No,
really,
they didn't need to be in that. Even I questioned it. I was like, but why? I was like,
I was dying when Tom was just like K'd out. I was like, he'd fucking die. He was just sitting there. I was like, oh no.
I don't think he pulled his punch, guys.
I was hoping it would have happened with the fucking puppet face though, because that shit was hilarious.
That would have worked. But it almost seems like I wouldn't be shocked if in one of them there's just no humans. It's just like them now.
It's almost like they're prepping us for that too. Like they're being, like you said, the less and less in the movie.
It's like they were contractually obligated for a trilogy, and then after that, they're like, "Well, that's all we needed you guys for. So thanks." But yeah, it was cool. And then I really found Kristen Ritter as agent. Director Rockwell was really random.
Yeah, for the star. If it was some just unknown, that would have been fine. But
maybe she's more of a star in my eyes because it's just like a Jessica Jones.
I was thinking the same. I was like, it's just me.
Yeah.
She's just really just like a hey, and then she's only in a few scenes, and I was like, I thought she was going to be, unless she's got plans for the sequels or something. At first I thought she was the one behind everything. I was like, maybe she's the bad guy. And I was like, never mind. So
just to add to that, you bring up that point about her motivation, but it's kind of like everybody in this film, their motivations are all, they're not pure evil. Even Professor Robotnik, there's a reason why he wants revenge because of what Gunn did to, his granddaughter. And so it's everybody here isn't like pure evil.
Except
in the
for
sense
Gerald.
they have no, that's what I'm saying. Even Gerald. Because Gunn killed his daughter, spoiler a little bit, but Maria doesn't
daughter,
true, but there's
granddaughter. So that's the reason why he wants to do this. He's just like, fuck everybody,
You and Mikey both watched the same Christmas movies, apparently.
I was like, he's taking a little over the top.
I mean, they're going to kill everyone, including themselves, though. I mean,
but that's what I'm saying, though. He's killing himself too. It's not just like
it feels like sometimes I feel like blowing up the world when someone steps on my shoe. I'm like, jeez.
I heard the word jihad earlier in this podcast, and I have to say,
been at the grocery store. Somebody knocked into his cart. He went out, slashed every tire.
Things happen.
You don't let that shit play. I don't like when people fuck with my car. That's
but
your car,
it's interesting. Just like everybody's motivation comes from like
it's all a revenge place though. So like going into like that kind of like they their whole point is like they got revenge, and he's got Shadow. Shadow's been thinking about it for 50 years apparently because he's been floating in like goop or whatever. And basically, Robotnik has like manipulated him to do his deed to like, hey, we can just do this, activate this gigantic squid-like looking thing, and destroy the planet, right? Yep. What did you think about the look of the film, though, Nabil? Like, did you think this looked better than the other ones?
I mean, we're a far call from the original Parent Trap film. I think that they did pretty good with the two Jim Carreys like each other. I was surprised at how well that
It was actually
seamless.
pretty good,
Everything worked.
especially after watching Austin Powers.
Oh
Where
yeah,
like,
especially-
there's like very obvious cuts of the film where it's like that's definitely not him from a back shot, you know?
yeah,
And in this one, letting the fact that they got to like you see them talking to each other, I'm like, damn, that's pretty good.
yeah. Like he's looking at his eyes.
Mikey didn't even know it was the same actor at first.
He said, "Is Jim Carrey got a brother?" Is that his
You know what, to me,
father?
in the trailers, it didn't look like Jim Carrey for some reason.
Oh, the makeup's great. Yeah, I think his
He
character.
just learned. He's like, "Did you know the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park aren't real?"
crazy,
Yeah,
right?
Mikey, dinosaurs don't exist. Holy
There's a behind the
shit!
scenes video.
What are you guys
Yeah, I
talking
think
about?
I think the graphics are still solid. The characters look great. The colors pop. You know, I didn't see it in IMAX or anything, but just regular digital screen and it looked good.
Yeah, I just saw it normal too. They weren't
yeah.
playing IMAX because fucking Mufasa has all those.
Oh yeah, that's
so-
right. Mufasa was taking that shit up.
Even
Yeah,
though
so, I mean-
one of these is doing clearly better than the other.
And even the sets were fine. Like I liked I think the best visualization of all of it was just that kind of heist scene thing that they were going through when they got into Gun and all the different rooms that they had to go into. Like that looked pretty well done. So I think it was.
Yeah, I agree.
They had production budget, I guess, but they've kept it consistent and.
They know how
The
to
films are-
keep it looking good for like when they needed to make it really good, like the space scenes and such. They look really good, right? So,
Yep.
Any other thoughts, Mikey, Marco, before we jump into spoilers? Because there are some stuff, but we kind of jump into the more spoilery aspect of it all.
No, I think we said everything that we can say without spoiling stuff. So
Okay,
Or fully
before
spoiling.
before we do that, then let's get into our rating. Marco, what do you give this one, and do you recommend it?
I give this one a 3.5 stars, and yeah, I recommend it, especially if you're a fan of Sonic, or if you've seen the last two, you're gonna enjoy this one for sure.
Definitely. What about you, Nabil?
I also gave it 3.5 stars. I think it's a good family film and great for Sonic fans.
Go ahead, Mikey.
I also gave it 3.5. Definitely recommend, even if you're not a Sonic fan and you haven't seen the other ones. I think you can still watch this one, and have fun.
I also gave this 3.5 stars. Combined.
I think we just fusion.
Square.
My God,
The
four-
Quadfecta.
the four became one. So yeah, no, 3.5 for me. It was really fun. I had an enjoyable time. I don't think it's as good as the second one. Like I said, I had a better time with the second one overall. Maybe just I don't know. It's just I guess just the theme of it all. But I still liked. I think this still had slightly better plot, but it was just more enjoyable. The second one for me. That one I know I give it 4. So, but as good as the first one in my opinion. So without further ado, let's get into our spoiler section though. So if you don't want to hear about kind of pretty much the ending of it and the slight little twist they got to everything, especially the mid-credit scene, post-credit scene, I would say skip ahead to hear what we'll be doing and catch you in 2025. So I do want to bring it up. We kind of already ruined it, by the way. So Maria dies, right? And Shadow's like, what happened? This is crazy. Oh no, Maria, you're not breathing, and you got crushed by all this shit. But did you guys obviously didn't know that happened, Mikey and Marco, I'm assuming.
Didn't know. Well, I mean,
You guys think that relationship was
show
kinda
it in the
weird?
trailer.
That was very good. Do they show the death in the trailer?
Yeah, they show him holding the girl, like
Yeah.
she's like.
Oh
lifeless,
fuck, really?
so-
Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's
Yeah,
a
they
big
kind of
point.
already
Oh,
It's a
said
big,
I forgot. So
it's a big plot point in the game. So like, did you like that relationship, or was it kind of weird?
Hey, it worked
No,
for me.
it worked for me too. It's like two friends, or even I mean, I don't want to insult Shadow. It's almost like the human and their pet. Kind of like in a way. I don't know. Maybe it's because he reminded me of my kid's cat. I don't know, right? But I felt it worked. They were both freaking lonely in that freaking laboratory. They befriended each other.
In all honesty, it is just like a friendship, and she's the only one that really sees him as not like an experiment, basically, right?
Yeah.
So that's really what it comes down to. And the death of that caused him to, have revenge, but they still capture him somehow. And they're like, we'll put you away for 50 years.
Aside from just being experimented on, he didn't know like anything else about life. She showed him how to live and stuff, and like gave him
This is like what normal kids will do, right? Because
Exactly.
he's a kid. We don't know what
guess.
a book is. What about, okay, we'll start with you then. What about, did you like how Dr. Robotnik notices how insane, even for him, how insane this fucking plan is? And he's like, I gotta like help these fucking guys.
I mean, he says the perfect line there. He's like, "We want to rule the world, not destroy it." Like it's, what is this for? So I think that made sense. The reason why he wanted to go about it was to actually just save the planet, not for the goodness of humanity, but for the fact that then he's got nothing. So it made sense. The reason why he kind of flipped that way, and I think that it. Again, I kind of go back to Gerald Robotnik, though, on the reasons he was trying to blow up the Earth was because he was just mad at the world, and he was willing to kill himself and to
wasn't he like 110 years old or something?
Yeah, he was really old anyway, so I was like, I don't think he really cared either way because his time was coming eventually. But it was a fun thing to see, like you guys have been mentioning, that there was somebody more evil than Robotnik, right? Like, the fact that he had to fight against his own family and his grandfather still didn't think he was evil enough anyways. And just to kind of go through all that was funny, just that dynamic.
Do you think he's actually dead?
I think it depends on how much money they're willing to pay.
That's what I was going to say too. I was like, it depends how much money they throw at this fucking guy. Because I think it still would be hard not to have a Robotnik character because I feel like he's the other half of this film.
He anchors this film. I have to be honest. If Jim Carrey was, it's like if you see a film back in the day with Robin Williams, like only Robin Williams is the reason why we're like holding on to this film. It's the same thing with a Jim Carrey film. Like if he's not in it.
Big Patch Adams fan, but yes, I understand.
Great, yeah. You know, if Jim Carrey's not in the film, you lose a lot of that fun aspect of it. And it's just sprites on the screen.
I think so. I mean, do you think they could possibly recast him?
No, I don't. I can't see anyone else playing that character now other than Jim Carrey or able to pull it off. That's a high bar to,
especially seeing this film. Like from the first film, it was like it's just Jim Carrey like being funny again. It's great, but as we've gotten to each film, he's really kind of made this character his own. And so I was even looking at the end of this film. I was looking up other Sonic villains to see who else could be like a main villain for Sonic, and they're all just like these creatures and weird things. And I'm like,
I was like,
there's
I thought maybe
good.
like Silver or something, maybe.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of looking at too, was another Hedgehog Silver, but at the same time, like,
you don't want like a Adam Sandler Dr. Robotnik?
No.
Jesus, no.
I don't even
like
like
he's like, I'm gonna get you, Sonic.
I could see it, but I don't think it would be as fun.
He's like, they pay me money.
What if they like, I don't know, brought up Dr. Robotnik back from like the past or something, so it's like a really young person.
They could do that.
You know,
they
that way they could
the Sonic
recast
games
them,
do have quite a lot of time travel. So
that's what I was reading stuff.
I wouldn't be shocked
because I don't think Jim Carrey's coming back for another one. I don't think.
And once again, though, I mean, they offer him half the budget. He might do it.
That's what he said. They interviewed him, asked why he'd come back.
I feel like he just says that, though, because then, honestly, I feel like he puts a lot in these movies. It's not like he's, like, phoning it in, though.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't have to say it, though. Yeah.
I feel like he's just, because he said that for the last, like, two, he's just telling, like, I'm only here for the money. But, like, deep down inside, I'm like, you did pretty good, though. Like,
yeah.
This was not, like, you can tell people that phone it in. I saw Kraven the Hunter. Like, I know people that phone it in. You know Calypso. So, anyways, Calypso.
I feel like he's having fun doing these films. Like,
yeah.
He's putting everything forth, like you said. So I agree. He's having fun.
He's like,
he just doesn't want like other movies or studios to be like, oh, let's get Jim Carrey since he's back.
I think that's it. I think that's why he's just maybe only doing like, I'll only do this when I really want to do a movie. Maybe.
Well, that's why he stopped, right? I mean, that's why he stopped acting. He just didn't like Hollywood and that life and what it brought out of him. So he just wants to like do whatever he wants to do. So
I mean, the most fucking studio film, but yeah,
okay, sure, multi-millionaire, cool. I'd love to just drop out of the fucking planet, boys.
Paint, yeah.
Bye, guys. As I disappear, fade into black. Goodbye, Marcus. Let's talk about the ending then. Did you guys like how it ended overall with Sonic and Shadow going Super Saiyan on the
that
robots?
Was pretty cool. That was all nostalgia for me as a kid. Just looked at that, like, holy shit.
I was like, fuck, he's turning into that pink white motherfucker. Yeah. I was like, Janelle, hold me, fuck. Grab the popcorn. I'm gonna cry. So, what did you think, Marco?
No, yeah, I think it worked, man. They did it great. It looked fantastic on screen. And it looked like they were going to just repeat like how they did the ending to Sonic 2, but with Shadow there, I think he added a nice flair to it. It's very
one thing I will mention though. Sorry, go ahead, Marco. I'll let you finish your thought, but I'll tell you something.
I was gonna say like a very good homage to the game. It's it's like watching the video game incarnate. So
That's from the Dreamcast game, yeah.
Yep.
It was kind of weird that he like demanded the Master Gem or whatever the fuck it's at.
Yeah.
And he was like, I need it now. And the Knuckles was like, you a bitch.
He's like, we're friends.
He's like, we made a promise. And then he's like, I'm still going to do it though. Fuck you.
But it was still a good cutaway because but it's being protected by an Ultimate Warrior.
Yes, which because we know he became a warrior because of the TV show.
Right.
He only had one scene though. I was like, fuck.
It was a whole scene. I was waiting for him to show too because he was pretty prevalent in the last two films.
Yeah, but I guess maybe they're like, you can either have a longer scene in the movie or you can have your own TV show. And he's like, fuck, I'll do a TV show about me becoming a bowling champion. They're like, all right, I guess we'll let you do the Knuckles show. What did you guys think then of that mid-credit scene, by the way, with the Metal Sonic reveals, by the way, which is awesome, in my opinion. And then Amy Rose shows up because they definitely need to put a female character in this because they're going to get rid of all the humans probably in the next movie.
Likely.
And they got to sell some more toys, guys. Come on. What's up? What did you guys think about that? Open floor.
I had to look up who Amy Rose was, so I
I
don't have too much connection to it, but I thought it was cool.
Oh my god! We literally were talking. Me and David came too. We were talking about. He's like, I wonder if Amy's ever going to show up. I was like, maybe in this one they'll show her at the end. And then sure enough, I said, "Son of a bitch."
See, I've seen her from like other cartoon iterations of Sonic and stuff. So that's the only reason I knew who she was, and also because my son's a big fan of Sonic. So I was like, oh, he named all the characters for me. I was like, oh, okay. So,
yeah, I mean, I was like, is Cream the Rabbit going to show up or Biggs the Cat? All these people.
I was seeing somebody like that.
I guessed the Metal Sonics.
I thought Biggs. Yeah, I thought it was going to be Metal Sonic, but when they showed Metal Sonic, I was like, oh, it's just going to end with that. But then when you hear the thing and then you see her hammer, I was like, oh shit, it's Amy. So yeah. I thought it was cool. So obviously that's going to play in. Maybe like now Sonic's going to have like a romance too, because that's his girl.
See, and now,
but she's so strong and independent, though. I know, Nabil. She don't need no man. I get it.
I think the Metal Sonics were cool, though. Just to throw that.
See, that's what I'm saying. That must lead into Robotnik then still.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. It's like, but so there's got to be some more Robotnik.
They're from Robotnik, so
yeah. So I guess the Metal Sonics, but I was like, it was either going to be him or was it Dark Sonic? Was it starts with an M? Mephiles the Dark, something like that.
I thought it would be Silver, if anything, but they're not going to throw another Hedgehog yet.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a little too many.
Metal Sonic's from Sonic CD. So I was like, and that's the one that heavily involves time travel. So I was like, maybe that's why Mikey's thing would kick in? Like a young Robotnik is doing it?
What if it's just Stone using all the Robotnik stuff?
He seems like a cool guy.
He does
Slim Nabil, as I was calling him throughout the movie.
No, but like, what if he's angry because Robotnik died? So like that's his motivation to become evil.
Maybe.
Yeah, but he should be. But then Robotnik showed his sexual desire toward him at the end. I was like, well, I guess this would have worked. I guess the love triangle is weird.
I love how he said that no gender desired him. I was freaking dying. Oh man.
And then what about the very post-credit scene? We see Shadow's bling in the sand or desert, and then we see that his shoes are there because he got the fresh ass kicks.
Yeah.
So obviously it shows that Shadow survived. So I guess Keanu signed on probably for another movie, right?
Yeah.
Whoa. He's like, whoa, what the fuck?
I mean, it could also lead to a spinoff though for Shadow. So
true, just like the video games. Just like the video games. This is the edgier one. It's rated R. Whoa.
He's gonna find out about his past, because he doesn't know where he's from.
He becomes an undercover surfer.
Yeah, he's working with a fucking local fucking crew, the FBI. He's like, whoa, man, what the fuck? So they already announced Sonic 4 coming 2027. Shortly after this has been making a killing. I guess looking forward to it. We've already talked about Jim Carrey, kind of if he's going to come back or not. But are you guys looking forward to another one?
Yeah, I would like to watch another one. They've all been fun. So as long as they keep the same vibe and the same kind of thing they're doing with these ones, I don't see why not.
Okay. Do you think they would almost make the Amy aspect of it like its own TV show, maybe?
Possible.
To get you ready.
They could also...
who's going to voice her, right?
They could also do it another world, right? They don't have to necessarily be on Earth.
Oh, yeah, where the owl people are.
Right. They could do like a whole CG storyline, basically, where there's no...
I feel like you have to show some human side of it now, though. I feel like they trapped themselves in that. It can't be fully animated. It has to have some kind of a human, like, well, because even the games have that. All the games have humans in it.
Then the humans go to his world, like what Mikey's saying, instead
like the one with all the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that'd be
It shows
very
it's possible because he sent Robotnik to one of them. So
That's what I mean. And I mean, are they out of rings now?
Yeah, I think they used the last one, right? Knuckles used Knuckles used his last one for him.
Yeah.
yeah,
Where Tails, I was like, Tails, you had one job, couldn't even do it, huh?
maybe
burn up in the atmosphere.
Shadow has some.
Probably not.
I'd be surprised. Well, Gun probably has some because they had some at fucking in the Knuckles.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. They were using it to teleport with their.
And Amy Rose might have some as well.
Yeah.
Oh my
Now
god,
that she's on
yeah,
Earth.
you're right. Jeez, TL came in cloaked and stuff. No dialogue though. I was like, they don't know who she's gonna be.
Yeah, they don't know the voice yet. Well, I'd be kind of worried about the next film on how they're going to go because it can get pretty fantastical. The rest of the Sonic lore at this point, they've hit all the main marks, so now it's just going to get a bit like wild. And
I think it
how
might
much
go the time travel aspect maybe with the Metal Sonics.
That might be the safer route with it because if they just keep moving forward, it's going to start being the whole rebellion thing, and it starts getting all weird and CG.
It was like it gets real political in the Sonic universe.
It kind of does.
Okay, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I feel like it'd be another fun ride. Like you said, guys, it's nothing too crazy. I think it's a good family film. Like Marco said, he saw it with his son, and it's got really good messages, I think. So I think if they keep that up, that's solid.
Yeah, like Nabil said, as long as they keep the same vibe, it'll be fine.
I think so too. All right, guys, that's the end of the podcast. We appreciate you all for tuning in. Marco, let them know how they can reach us.
You can listen and follow us on your preferred podcast platform. We are everywhere. For a convenient link to all our social media channels, visit linktree/moviepalspod. That's linktr.ee/moviepalspod. And remember, smash that subscribe button and you'll never miss an episode in this sequel or the next.
Plus, catch us on TikTok for sneak peeks of upcoming episodes and more exciting moving content. Follow us at Movie Pals Pod.
And make sure to tune in next year for our next episode, podcast episode number 190, where we will be reviewing our annual top 10 films of 2024.
Looking forward to that, guys. It's our annual one, and it's always a lot of fun.
And it's Mikey's and Mikey-versary.
Mikey-versary, perhaps. Or maybe he did another one before. We don't know. Thank you, everybody, for a great year. Once again, 2024 was awesome. We had a lot of highlights, not so many low points. I think it was all pretty good stuff overall. We kept it moving. Our YouTube channel really exploded this year as well, which was nice to do. Yeah. So we all look forward to you in 2025. Have a happy holiday. Have a happy new year. We will see you then. Until then, though, this is James,
Marco,
Nabil,
and Mikey.
Have a great one.